Окей, let's go. Все, вы пошли?
Да.
Окей.
Все.
YouTube открой.
Okay, so we are starting. Ты поешь? Я. Уже.
Мгм.
Так, я скажу, либо у меня включилось.
Все, да.
Все есть, да, все работает.
Окей.
Я если кто-то здоровый.
Давай.
Давай.
Hello guys. Yes. We in love.
Hello.
Yes. We in live? No. I'm Colin.
My name-
My name is Artem, and this
My
is
name is
Vlad.
Vlad.
Yes, and we can start our AMA session now. I'm glad to see you here, Andrian. I think it will be a good AMA session.
Yes, thank you for hosting this session. I'm very excited to participate. So for those who don't know me, I'm Adrian Caversen-Fino. I'm CSO of MASSA Lab.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the opportunity. So we'd like to start from the question that you chose. We're gonna read the question one by one, and you will
Yeah.
answer. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Start.
Okay. The first question. How do MASSA smart contracts show themselves in the last launched update?
Yeah, so there were several questions regarding smart contract engine. So in the last episode, we released the smart contract engine. We didn't make a lot of publicity about it because it's ready, but there is still no documentation. It's lacking a bit of tooling, but if you want to, you can already use it. And we also made a Discord channel on the regarding smart contracts on Discord. So if you want to have help, and you can ask questions there. But yeah, basically we have like the main components of the smart contract engine that is already live, and we are improving it over time. So right now you can do basic smart contracts like Ethereum or other blockchains. What is still missing is the autonomous smart contract that we want to have. So for those that haven't been following Masa since the start, in Masa we want to add the possibility to have smart contracts that wake up by themselves, like design a system in which smart contracts, you can put events, and those smart contracts will listen to events. And for example, you could set up a smart contract and tell the smart contract to wake up in like a few minutes or a few hours, or when the price of when someone buys some kind of asset, you want your smart contract to perform some operation. This is the kind of thing that we want to have to add to our engine, and that does not, for now, it does not exist on any blockchain. So this is something that we want to add that does not exist yet. It won't be in the next episode, but hopefully it will be there for episode 8. Another thing that we want to add on our smart contract is the ability to host decentralized websites. So for instance, if you right now in the DeFi ecosystem, if you go to decentralized applications such as Sushi, Swap, or things like that, like for example to perform a swap, you go through it. You go through a regular website that is hosted on a centralized platform, and this introduces a single point of failure, because like if this website is compromised, then the funds of those smart contract can be at risk. Like for instance, I think it was Badger DAO. I'm not completely sure, but like recently there was a problem with one of the decentralized application They were. It was when the website was compromised and a lot of funds were lost. So, like, what we want to introduce is the possibility to host the website logic directly on the blockchain, and you would access it directly through your browser, with your browser through a plugin, for example, through MetaMask or something similar, and you would be able to access a site in .masa, like for example SushiSwap.masa, and this would direct you to the website that would be, and the website logic would be extracted from the blockchain, so you are sure that the website, like once it's been audited, it will not change, so it's secure, and it's not changed without your notice. So these are the main two innovations that we want to add over time. So probably for episode 8, we are still working on it, but right now you can already play with smart contract engine. Of course, tooling and the documentation is still a work in progress. We will add it over time. Well, it's one of the main focus at the moment, but if you have any question, if you want to play with it, feel free to play with it and ask questions on the Discord channel. We'll be happy to answer any questions.
Like, it was a deep technical question. Yeah, I mean, the next question is about your team. How much time you spent for creating the full product, and how many people was involved to work with your product?
Yeah, so it's a good question, but I think of course it changed over time. I think at first it started as a one-man project. It was Sebastian who started this project during his PhD. It was back in 2017 or so. He noticed that Ethereum and Bitcoin were kind of slow and the fees were kind of high, and he wanted to solve the scalability issue of historical exchange at Bitcoin and Ethereum. And Damir quickly joined the effort of Sebastian, and me, I was also working with Sebastian actually on another subject, because we were in the same team when he was doing his PhD. I was in postdoc working, and we were both working on artificial intelligence and robotics. And he told me about his project, and so I was quite interested, because at first it was really a research project, and I was quite excited by the scientific part of the protocol. And so for the first 2 years or so, it was the three of us, but we were growing fast. We've been hiring we hired our first developer in 2019 or something like that. In October or 1 year ago, or 1 year and a half ago, and now we are a team of 10 or so, and we are still recruiting developers. There are new developers that will join us in the coming months.
No, it means you have actually 10 people, including all community managers and some staff who communicate with people?
Yeah. We are basically something like 8 developers, six developers, including Damir, which is a CTO. Mm-hmm. There is Sebastian and me also, and 2 people working on the marketing and community management.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and based in 3 countries, yes?
We are mainly based in Paris. The entity is based in Paris, but actually we have people working from all around the world. There is one developer working in the States, which is in China, and French people also, but working from remote countries. So actually pretty international.
It's like international team.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, next question. I need to ask you this question firstly. Tell us about the name. Why Masa?
Yeah, I think it's a common question. We answered already. If you want to have more detail, you can also watch the previous AMA. Like we did one written AMA in the beginning of the testnet. But like to give you a fast answer, like there are two explanations for this name. One is that like MASSA stands for mass adoption, because we believe that like this combination of scalability and decentralization of MASSA like allows like we enable the mass adoption of the blockchain technology. Right now it's a bit like Ethereum, it's popular, but it's not something that everyone can use due to the high fees. And so we believe that Masa can help for the mass adoption, and there is also a more historical or personal explanation. Like Masa is also the name of an old coin that was used in Marseille. It's an old, in like 2,000 years ago, and like it was an independent city that was minting its own money, and so Damir and Sébastien are coming from Marseille, and so they had this idea because I think in some ways it resonates with the idea of Masa minting its own money, something that is very independent but fully decentralized. This is the other explanation.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, I can see on your website we are set for mass adoption. Yep. Okay.
The next one question is a question like the most wondering one. It's about episode 6 and why it suddenly end.
Yeah. So one thing we noticed that at the start of episode 6 is that there was some kind of there was a bug in the code base, and it's already disconnected quite a few people, and we noticed that, and so when we noticed it, we launched several servers with a higher log level to track what was going on and to track the bug, and like it was a bug in the consensus protocol regarding the graph rules, something that was a bit overlooked, and so I think this what happened illustrates the importance of the testnet, because this is the kind of bugs that are hard to catch when you do testing on the labnet or on your own computer, because this is something that happens when there are multiple nodes connected, that there are some nodes that are failing because they are not strong enough, and like this specific bug happened when one of the threads, when there were blocks missing in one of the threads. Like for example, if the node was disconnected or for some reason and failed to create its block, then it would create several misses in the same thread. And when there were enough of this of the misses one after the other, then it would trigger the bug. And this is something we never noticed when we did the test on our labnet or on computer, because it just it happened rarely, and so this highlights the importance of real tests in real conditions. So I'm sorry that it completely stopped the testnet, but it allowed us to catch a bug, so which I think is a very good thing in the end. So.
Okay, so I wonder also, that bug that you mentioned about is gonna be fixed in 7 episodes?
Yeah. You can, like, if you go to the GitHub, there was an issue mentioning this bug, and you can see that this issue is now closed. There are more technical explanations in the issue if you want to have a look. but the bug was fixed. It was hard to notice it, but it was a quick fix afterwards. And it also allowed us to make actually some improvements to the algorithm. So in the end, it's even faster afterwards.
That was pretty cool. Okay.
Okay. I have a good question about architecture, about memory. You're using a high transaction throughput architecture that requires a lot of memory. How will we save space?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think like depends on what you call space and what you want to keep. So in Bitcoin or in Ethereum, people are used to keep all the transactions that happen on the network, and this is possible, and it's not so big in the end because the Bitcoin and Ethereum have a low throughput, so they process only tens of transactions per second. So you can keep everything, and in the end, it's only a couple of hundreds of gigabytes. And so this is doable. But if you should process like thousands of transactions per second, then it's not possible anymore. And this is, you cannot keep everything that happens. I mean, you can, but not on a standard computer. And so, but it's not really an issue in the end because you can forget it. If you are not using a UTXO model as in Bitcoin, you can forget all transactions. If you are in an account-based model, then you can only keep the ledger and you are up to date. I mean, you don't care to know that 10 years ago someone sent one Masa to another guy. You just want to know the actual balance. This is enough, and this does not take so much space. Actually, we can limit the space of the ledger and the code. There are different ways to achieve that, but we are not completely. We don't know exactly how we will do it. It's not very technically. It's not very challenging, and we think we will limit it to 1 terabyte. And so this is only the ledger, and this is much more reasonable because 1 terabyte right now is not that much. Pretty much any standard desktop computer will have 1 terabyte of memory. But this is not storing every transaction it's a property of high transaction throughput architecture that you cannot store everything that happens. It's the same for Solana, it's the same for Phantom. If you want, you can set up an historical node that will store everything, but it will roughly need, I don't have the specific numbers, but it's around 30 terabytes of memory per year that you will need, which is doable, but of course it costs a lot.
Okay, and how are you going to achieve 10,000 transactions per second?
Yeah, this maybe I need to explain a bit how Masa was designed. If you think about Bitcoin or Ethereum, what limits the transaction throughput in Bitcoin and Ethereum is that to create a block, you have to have the previous blocks. If you create a block and you don't have the latest block that was produced in the network, then you will produce a fork because those two blocks will be incompatible by construction. And so this is this initial observation that led to the Masa architecture that if you want to increase the throughput, you need to allow people to create blocks in parallel, and you have to ensure that blocks created in parallel are compatible by construction, that you don't have double spending or things like that happen in parallel. And this is this observation that led to this graph architecture where you have 32 threads in parallel and blocks are created in parallel. And to achieve the compatible block, we perform transaction sharding. That is, we like a wallet can spend only coins on a specific in a specific thread. Like depending on my address, I can only spend say coins in thread number 5, and this ensures that I will never spend, I will never perform double spending, because blocks created in other threads, they cannot contain my transactions. So my transactions are always in the same thread. And so this is what led to this graph architecture that you can see when you go to our Explorer. So right now it's down because we did not launch a testnet, but this is why there are those 32 threads. And this is what allows us to increase the throughput to 10,000 transactions per second. So like right now in the testnet, we did not reach 10,000 transactions per second. This was only reached in the demo that we've put online. You can have a look at it also. The code is open source. But it's a realistic simulation of a peer-to-peer network of thousands of nodes. But on the testnet and the last stress test, we achieved around 1,000 transactions per second. So we still need to do a bit of optimization. It also, of course, it also depends on the nodes that are connected to the testnet. Like we've put requirements, but of course it's a decentralized network. You cannot be sure that everyone follows the requirements, and if people are running nodes that are a bit less powerful than others, then when we do our stress test, those nodes they become deactivated, which lowers the throughput a bit. So we'd have to perform longer stress tests to know exactly how much we can reach actually. But we are still improving performance every month, so we are quite confident that eventually we will reach 10,000 transactions per second.
Okay. Actually, I was building a full blockchain from the ground, from the zero. And the next one question is, what difficulties did you face during this time? I mean, when you're building a full blockchain.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So I think for the architecture, it was like figuring out how to do parallelization. Like explain like this, it seems a bit simple, but it was a bit hard to design it. But this was quite a long time ago. Actually, like one thing that was a bit where we had to think a bit is like the smart contract engine. This is like a bit more complicated because one smart contract can call another smart contract, so it's a bit different than transaction. So you cannot you have to design something different. So we had to think a bit to design the smart contract engine and make it work. We are not the only one who face the same problem. Actually, if you look at Avalanche, they have several chains, like one for transaction, one for smart contracts, because they have the exact same problem. Because if you are in a direct cyclic graph, then it's not clear anymore which transaction is before another transaction. And if you are only spending coins, then it's not a problem. You don't care if one people send coins before another one, as long as they are correct transactions. But for smart contracts, it's important to have an ordering. And in a DAG, you don't have a natural ordering, at least not in every DAG. And this is what caused the difficulty of Avalanche and why they have to design several chains to make smart contract work. And we had the same problem, and we had to this was this was a bit of a difficulty. We had to think how to pick an order between blocks. So the idea in the end is to pick blocks, to use block in their slot ordering for smart contract execution, but only blocks that belong to the block click, like the blocks that are selected by the consensus. Maybe I'm going too much into the details, but this is one part that was a bit technical and that we had to think quite a bit.
So a lot of work was done, so I wish you a lot of luck in the future.
Yes.
Yes, thanks. Yeah, in the end, it's working. We hope to, like, we are designing. There is one people that is working on designing smart contract templates and making all the tooling so that it's easy for people to build on Masa. We are not publicizing the work a lot because it's still premature, but you will see. We'll show case examples soon.
It's
And
really,
if you have questions, feel free to ask.
yeah, it's
We
it's
are
really
really
cool.
happy to discuss this.
It's really cool to connect. I mean, to connect all the people and they have to achieve then our goal. So it's I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, Adrian, your project is a unique blockchain that combines all the most important qualities. It's decentralization, is transaction speed and security. I can ask you about security because it's very important. Tell us about security. How realized is it?
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. Security is, like, I think, the most important thing because you can build something that is extremely scalable, but if it's not secure, in the end, it's probably completely useless. So this was one of the main important point that we had in mind when we designed the architecture. So, like, the general idea when building Masa was to keep the design simple. Like, we believe that if you complicate the design a lot, then it will introduce a lot of security breaches in the system, and that's why we were very inspired by Bitcoin and Ethereum, which have been tested over the years and very proven to be quite secure in the end because there are no big flaws that have been noticed on Ethereum and our Bitcoins. And so if you look at our architecture, it's like a natural extension of Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's not extremely different. We don't add a lot of innovation. We have just these parallel threads that add a bit of complexity, but it's a very natural extension of the Nakamoto consensus over standard blockchains. And this is why we believe it's quite secure. And also on top of that, also we did quite a lot of analysis, simulations, but also mathematical proof of the security, and it's also for the implementation. On the implementation side, that's why we chose Rust, which is a good language to build a secure system.
Okay, thank you a lot.
Okay,
It's very important.
so I wanted to ask about your partnership. You know, are you planning to connect some new partners to Masa, to your company?
Yeah, we are. This is something very important, of course.
For sure.
This is something we are working on right now. I'm sorry, but I cannot announce things right now.
For sure.
It's a bit
Never
premature.
mind.
But just to say a bit, we are working on partnerships in the gaming industry. Hopefully, we'll have some announcement soon. Can't tell you when, but we are very interested in gaming because we have some gamers in the team and we like gaming, so we'd like to do something on that. And we think like this the autonomous smart contract, we think they can be very unique and very interesting in the gaming industry. You could design much more interesting interaction with NFTs. They could combine each other totally like on-chain without any intermediaries. You could design more. Like right now, every interaction with the chain, it has to be performed by someone that is off-chain. And so this had some centralization, and we believe with autonomous smart contracts you could design things that are very interesting, that happen completely on chain. And like you could program NPC, for example, living on the chain, doing things in games that are completely designed on chain. So we have some ideas in the gaming. So this is the main thing we are working on right now. Partnership, of course, is very important.
Okay, so we're just waiting for new announcements.
Yeah.
Yep. I want to ask you about rewards. Are you planning for rewards for Knowledge Runner? Yes.
I'm not sure I understood the question. Could you repeat?
What are the planned rewards for the Knowledge Runner?
I cannot say something specific either, but like the general idea, we have this whole scoring that we put in place, and the general idea is that the higher you score, the higher your reward will be in called Masa once the mainnet launch, and the goal is that the good stakers and will give coins to people that have good scores, but the goal is also to select initial stakers, initial node runners on the mainnet through this program. So the participants in the testnet that have the highest score, that are the most reliable nodes, they will become the initial stakers on the mainnet. We will put coins and roles for them in the code, just so they can start right in the beginning of the mainnet.
Okay. There is a trend, it's called ambassador program. Almost every project is doing an ambassador program to increase the people who are following them. Are you planning to do something same?
Yeah. We will do an ambassador program.
Oh.
The specific details are being written as we speak. We'll make probably an announcement about it in March or so, something like that. So it's supposed to start in March or April, and we'll make an announcement in the coming months or weeks or months.
Oh, it's coming soon.
Yeah. It will be properly events, and we will announce it on Kesha and Discord.
Okay.
How many ambassadors are you planning?
Yeah, this is something that I cannot tell you now exactly, because it will depend, of course, but I cannot give the specific details on the number of ambassadors or exactly how much coins they will get, or the specific big details. I can just tell you that we are still doing the specific details of the ambassador program, and we make announcements once everything is ready. But we want to release it soon, but I cannot give you the specific details right now.
Okay, we know why.
Okay, because it's the most popular question in Russian community.
Yeah. I know that people have been asking a lot about ambassador programs since a few months ago already, but it is something also that we cannot launch too soon, because first we were very focused on the technical developments, and it was a bit too early to do an ambassador program. So now we think it's starting to be the good time to launch an ambassador program, so it will come soon.
Okay, the next one question is actually, yes, I wanted to ask, will you have a token sale? And another, will noders will be given an allocation in token sale?
And ambassadors.
Yeah. This is something that we clarified already also, but I want to be clear right now also that yes, if you've been running a node and been a good participant in the testnet, then we'll do some kind of whitelisting to ensure that people that have been running nodes on the testnet will have an opportunity to buy coins once we do our public sale.
Oh, that's cool.
So yes, there will be a public sale, and we'll do some kind of whitelisting for node runners in the public sale.
Okay, and the next most popular question: when you announce the next episode, 7 episode?
Yeah, the next episode will happen in the next few days, I think.
Maybe you have exactly data.
We were discussing it just before the AMA, but I think it will be either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
Okay.
I think I'm hoping I'm specific enough, but you'll have in any case you'll have a few days to set up your node and on Discord, etc., and do the registration process. So don't worry that it will be in the next couple of days. Like, people have been also asking about what is coming in the next episode. There are no big features that are coming. It's as I said, we are focused a lot on documenting the smart contract engine so that people can start building on it, but also focusing on doing refactoring of the code base to, now that we have seen that it's working, but we have seen things that we can improve and that we want to improve in the coming months. So there is a big work on refactoring and adding security, securing the whole network, and a big stabilization phase that is coming and that we are working on right now on the technical side. So there are not big features that are coming for episode 7. It's a big background work that is going on right now.
Okay, here is the last question from the list, and after that we'll move to YouTube chat. By the way, you have a link to our YouTube translation, right?
I could use the link. I don't think I have it right now.
Yeah, I think it will be a good idea to answer some question. Direct in the
YouTube.
YouTube.
I think it's a good idea.
Just a few. Yeah. You have something?
The first.
Oh, I see. There is question about your work experience. Like you mentioned, you was working in the previous project. Can you tell us some details, of your background and your experience at all?
Like developer.
I can speak about the team a bit. So as I said, Sebastian and I met when Sebastian was doing a PhD and I was in postdoc in artificial intelligence and robotics. So this was basically, before that, I was doing a PhD in quantum physics, related to quantum cryptography. And Damien, he was also a PhD before that, which is our CTO. And then he was working in a fintech in banking as a service, so in artificial intelligence, like implementing system for fraud detection or things like that in a banking as a service startup. So we have a strong background in science and computer science and research. So that's how we had these initial ideas. And the team in general, some of you may know Kesha. He's been involved in the crypto space for several years right now. I think he's mostly known because he worked on he's part of one of the biggest quantum community, FTMRX.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, so and yeah, I hope this answers your questions. I don't know. I can be more specific.
We know why. Well, it was like a cool, like a book story. You know, you met Sebastian in the previous job, and now you're working together. So it's like a small movie.
Book history, yeah. Okay. Next question. I see in the chat. Can we see NFT on Masa in future?
Yeah, of course. As I said, like the smart contract engine of Masa, it will have the same thing as Ethereum virtual machine or smart contracts on Phantom or Solana or Avalanche. We'll just add features on top of it, but of course we'll be able to design NFTs, and you can already do it. It's missing a bit of tooling, as I said, but we are drafting some templates to help you design coins. If you look at the one of the repository of Masa Labs, there are already some kind of example smart contracts. Like it's the repository and GitHub Masa smart contracts examples. So there are some examples of smart contracts that you can have a look at. Right now there is some kind of Masa 20 that exists already. And we put some templates for NFT, so you can play with it already, but we'll add more things in the coming months, and in particular the autonomous smart contracts feature.
Okay.
Okay, I don't see in the chat.
Okay, I have a question about mainnet. In the future, you will have a mainnet, and how will you choose a node who can install, who can work in mainnet? And what is the requirements for this?
Yeah, so it's a decentralized network, so there will be anyone in theory who will be able to participate. There will be coin requirements and of course hardware requirements. If you don't meet the hardware requirements, your node will not work perfectly. And so the coin requirement, there is of course a security constraints, but we want to make it as low as possible so that the maximum number of nodes can participate in the mainnet and participate in consensus and secure the network. So we don't have the specific numbers. We still have to do some experiment, but we consider that it's way too high in systems such as Phantom, where it's around $1 million to be a node runner. We want to do something more around several €100 or something like that. So this and hardware requirements, we already said that our target of hardware requirements is something like a modern desktop computer with something like 8 cores and 16 gigabytes of RAM. Of course, it depends on the development of the technical development. Like if we manage to do something that works with less, it's good. But this is our target. We don't want to have too big hardware requirements because we believe that too big hardware requirements, it leads to centralization. For instance, if you look at Solana, the hardware requirements are very big, and if you want to run a node, you will probably end up doing it on AWS or GCP or something like that, and we believe that it leads indirectly to centralization in the end, because if AWS is down for one reason or the other, then if all nodes are running on AWS, or at least a big fraction of the node, then the system can be put at risk. Like, for example, I think it happened on Phantom at some point, 2 nodes that were having more than 30% of the coins, they stopped because AWS had an issue, and the network was stopped. So from a security and a liveness point of view, it's important that people can be running normal and home desktop computer.
Okay. Yep. Thank you a lot. And I have questions. What is the top 3 goals for Masa Labs for 2022 year?
Yeah, I think like the big goals are like
first mainnet.
Yeah, mainnet is of course mainnet, like public sale and mainnet are the big goals, but like more technically, I mean, like showcasing autonomous smart contracts at decentralized web is very exciting, because this is something that has never been done before, and really exciting to release this from the technical point of view, and we want to showcase also use cases and develop partnership, like for instance in the gaming industry, as I said. This would be also a big goal for Masa in 2022, I think.
Okay, and I'd like to ask, do you have actually dedicated amounts of episodes? I mean, can we wait in the future 10, 11, 15 episodes or something?
Yeah, I think the number of episodes will be running episodes until the mainnet, so probably something around.
So until we'll together fix all the bugs, until we together can reach the mainnet.
Yeah, the mainnet. I don't want to give like specific dates, because it's hard to predict technical development. But mainnet release should be around summer 2022. And so you can expect the episode to run until summer 2022 or something like that. But it's possible that after that we'll be running a labnet to improve the mainnet, and yeah, it's possible that it continues afterwards in one way or the other, and that we do an incentivized labnet, a testnet, just to improve the mainnet afterwards. But I don't know, I'm speculating. But I'd say that we still have like at least until summer 2022 there will be episodes.
Okay, we'll wait the mainnet.
Okay. As you have said, Masa coin will give full control to the community. So the project will be running by DAO principles and fully be controlled by community. Or will the founders have the opportunity to ignore requests and decisions of the community?
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's been our philosophy since the start to empower the community, to give the control to the community in the end. And yeah, in the long term, for sure, we want to do a DAO or something like that, something similar to Tezos. For example, on Tezos they have on-chain governance, like where people can vote for protocol upgrade and decide which upgrade are going to be live by voting on the on-chain. And we believe that this is a good system for to for the chain on the long term, because the community can be really part of the decision. There are some decisions, like for example tokenomics or technical development, that can be decided like this, and this is a good way to give some power to the community. Like we don't have like a specific roadmap for a DAO or specific details of it should be yet, but of course, like since the philosophy of Masa is decentralization first, and decentralization is non-negotiable, it totally makes sense to have a DAO at some point, because otherwise it would not be. It would not make sense to decide everything. It would not be decentralized in the end if we were the sole decider of the protocol operating. So yeah.
Okay. Thanks. I have good questions about community. You have a good community, and I have a question about reverse to people who support who support community, but doesn't have a role in Discord like moderator, who translate some articles, and with the people receive rewards. Yep.
Yeah. It's right now we don't have any like we talked a bit about it, but we don't have any ambassador program going on right now. So these there are no specific rewards given to specific actions right now. But of course, our goal is to reward people that have been helping promoting the network, that have been publishing tutorials or documentation or regarding our protocol. So this is something that we are keeping track of people that have been supporting Masa over the time, and we really want to reward them once the mainnet launch with tokens. And
okay.
so, of course, this is something we appreciate, people helping on Discord. Like we have a specific Discord role for people that are helping others setting up their node, or helping people register for the registration process, or helping them debugging, or like this is something we are really we consider a lot, and we'll reward people for that, and things will be. And then you will have the opportunity to be more involved in the community through the ambassador program.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I wanted to ask about the QoC. You know, like everybody who is running the node will must to pass in QoC, or it's not for everybody?
Yeah. This is like a legal procedure that we have to follow. We have to follow the know your customer procedure, and so if you want to participate in the public sale, or if you want to if we are going to reward you through coins, then we have to follow the know your customer procedure to follow. We are legally bound to follow the procedure, the KYC.
Okay, got it.
Okay, I think it's will be the last question. Do you have any question?
No, I'm not.
I also don't have questions for you, Adrian. Thank you a lot for your answering for answers. You're a good technical guy. Thank you a lot.
Yes, thanks for opportunity. We wish you less bugs and wish you biggest luck to reach this mainnet for us.
Yes, thank you very much for hosting the AMA. It was very nice as usual.
We're waiting for announcing announce ambassador program, and
everybody's waiting.
Everybody's waiting, and everybody waiting the next episode ends. Thank you a lot, Andrea.
Yeah, I understand that people are very excited about the ambassador program. We are working on it, so we make announcements as soon as I said March or April also. It will start in March or April, something like that. So stay tuned.
Okay. Thank you a lot.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, evening.
Have
a good evening.
Have a good evening as well.
Take care, Andrea.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
See
Have
you.
a good day.